Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from the beautiful metaverse, and more specifically from beautiful Danville, Illinois, homeland of the Correllian tradition. And this is Midday with Reverend Don. And as you know, if you follow Midday with Reverend Don, you can type your questions or comments into whatever platform you happen to be watching on, and they will show up here in our chat room. And with me is my guest, Krys Copeland.
Hi.
Hi,
Nice to see
Krys.
you again, Reverend Don.
It's nice to see you. And Krys is joining us from the other side of the planet.
Yeah, I'm over here in the Netherlands, enjoying a beautiful spring day. One of the first warm ones we've had in a while, so it's really nice outside.
Today is a warmer day here too.
Good.
We had a lovely little spring for 48 hours and then went back to winter, and now we're back to spring for 12 hours or so. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's the same way here in the Netherlands. Last April, on April 1st, we had a snowstorm. So
Yep.
who knows what
We
next
could
week will
here.
bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The latest snow that I ever remember here in Danville was, I think, as late as May 14th.
Wow, that's really late.
And that was 1978 or 9, one or the other. It was so late that people were very startled by it. But I do remember that happening.
I've only seen a snow a few times in my life, actually, especially as a child. I only saw it once. So
that's right. You're not from the snowy part of the world.
No, I only saw it once, and it was more dirt and slush than snow. So as a child.
Yep.
But after I started traveling, like, snow was one of those magical things that only existed in really cool places up north or across the world. Yeah.
That's how you feel when you don't grow up with it.
Yeah, it's very special. But it's the same thing. I've with looking up at the stars at night. That's not something that you can typically do here in the Netherlands. There's too much light pollution and too many clouds for it. So one thing I miss from Texas is the beautiful starry skies at night.
I can see why that would be. We want to say hello to Antonio in the chat room. It's good to see you, Antonio.
Hi, Antonio.
Proud member of the Correllian mob.
Nice.
And has the T-shirt to prove it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, I have to get mine ordered soon. I'm hoping that we can ship overseas for that one. It's very.
We can either do that or we can make an arrangement. Well, I say we. I'm not involved in it. Lady Alyssa is doing that.
Yeah, I've seen her post on it. We do have some new merchandise over at Correllian Publishing now on the website. I'll go ahead and show people. If you want to get some of this commemorative illustration gear, let me share the correct screen. I gotta find it.
Yep.
That is my issue with this one. Let's see.
Antonio says, "See mob strong."
There we go. Volunteer with Correllian Publishing is one of the things I want to show you today. But first, let's take a look at the investiture memorabilia. So this is to commemorate the investiture of Correllian First Priesthood. That's Reverend Alyssa and Reverend Phoenix, at the lustration of the ancestors this coming May 18th. And that's going to be in Danville, I understand.
Yes.
We have some of these amazing products up here, and this is your artwork. Is that correct,
yes.
Reverend Don? So tell us a little bit about the process for how you created this artwork.
Well, it's Phoenix, Alyssa, myself, and Lady Crystal. I did use photos to help me with the likenesses, although it's not like I don't know all these people really well, but it's good to have something to look at. And it's black pen and ink artwork colored with alcohol markers.
It's really beautiful.
A little bit of addition with the computer, but not much. Because one of the things that happens sometimes is that now that we've got computers, because I've been doing artwork for long before we did have computer editing. If there's a little line you want to change, you can go in and change it. or if something was slightly outside of where it should have been color-wise, you can correct that. But mostly, it's just straightforward what it is. And the original artwork, I believe, is going to be made available as well.
Oh,
if
really?
someone is interested in that. But we're not quite at that point yet. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all the cool things that you can actually get with this. We have magnets available, 3-inch by 3-inch. I collect magnets, so that's probably one that I'll want to grab. But there's also hardcover journals, so you can start your own, book of shadows or journal for this year. And then we also have the souvenir travel mugs. We have a couple of different styles for the magnets here. Ones with just the photo, as well as one with some text on it, marking the event and the date. We have this beautiful little tote bag, which is great to store all of your Correllian Publishing books in. And we also have the T-shirts available, the posters, and the portrait done on canvas, so you can hang it up in your own home. There's also a second page with some coffee mugs here. We have the souvenir regular mug, and then there's also a heat reactive souvenir mug. Can you tell us a little bit about how it reacts to heat?
It starts out as a black mug, and if you add warm liquid to it, the picture is revealed.
Oh, that's wonderful. So the handle shows what it looks like, what the color is, without the heat added to it. That's amazing. So kind of a little hidden surprise when you pour coffee in your mug that day.
Yes.
Yeah. I love those. So does anyone have any questions in the chat about how the merchandise was made, or anything else you'd like to see us add to this line?
But Janet does say good day to us.
Good day,
hello, Janet. It's good to see you.
Yes, good to see you in the chat. So one of the other exciting things that's happening this week with Correllian Publishing is that we have added a special link to the website here. If people would like to volunteer with us, we have a very simple form for you to fill out, but we're explaining all the different things of what volunteering is like with us, why you should volunteer with us if you have time to volunteer, and then the content areas that we're looking for. So we're looking for editors. We can basically only go as fast as you can edit or I can edit at this moment. So if we could bring in some more staff on that, we would love to see more books getting created, more books getting published faster. We have a backlog of projects that we would love to do from different pagan writers and pagan content creators, but that we just don't have time to do right now. So having some volunteer help would be amazing for that. We're also looking for people to help with our SEO and our social media. Currently, I'm in charge of the social media and SEO, and I'm okay at it, but I'm more a project manager, a trainer, and so if we could have someone that's really amazing at SEO and social media come on board and help us out with that, that would be great. We have already had, I believe, 7 people volunteer, so I'm looking forward to hopefully bringing a few of those on officially within the next few weeks. If you're one of those people, just keep an eye out on your email. We'll contact you within the next week or two. We're just getting ourselves organized for this. And down at the bottom, you can just sign up to volunteer. It's a very short form that you fill out, stating what you'd like to help with, when your availability is, all of the normal stuff that you fill out on a volunteer form, and then we'll be in touch with you within the next week or two.
And Janet asks if we have tarot bags, which at present we do not, but we might by next week.
That's a good idea.
It hadn't even occurred to me.
Yeah. Let's see if we can maybe get some drawstring bags on that. Excellent idea. We have one more surprise this week coming up with Correllian Publishing. And of course, if you've been listening to us on Rev Don's show here, you already know about this one. We have a new author in the Correllian Publishing family, Sarah Hartsong. and she is creating. She has created this this Wheel of the Year series for preteens, in which children ages 8 to 12 years old can read through this book on their own, maybe with a little bit of parental help. But it talks a lot about not just how we celebrate Beltane, and it has a cute little story about some children going to celebrate Beltane, but also some of the more difficult topics around Beltane, like sexuality and fertility and gender identity, and all of these things that, especially as preteens, the kids are first discovering about themselves, or maybe first discovering about themselves. And pagan parents may feel a little unsure of how to approach those conversations with their kids. So this also includes a parent's guide for you to be able to have those open and honest conversations with your children at an age appropriate level, so that they can feel empowered with the information provided, and be prepared as they enter into young adulthood, to know what to expect from that. But this just starts the conversation for people so that you can dive deeper. We also give tons of resources for going further. If there's including links to a complete homeschool sex ed kit for teenagers. So if that's the next part that you would like to start on, there will be links to that. This will be the first of many, 8 total books in the series, and our next one that will be coming out will be for Lugnasad. We're going to be doing the greater Sabbats this year, and then next year we will fill in with the lesser Sabbats. So we plan on releasing those the Sabbat before, so that's why you'll see Beltane Blessings released hopefully tomorrow at the latest, on Friday, but I think it will be tomorrow. And there are 4 parts in the book total. The first part is a short story about the children in modern day going to a Beltane celebration. The second is a retelling of the mythology of Rhiannon. And the third is the guide that breaks down complex topics, and it's for parents and children. And then finally, a ritual for sharing Beltane's blessings together as a family or as a larger community. We also have some information on Sarah on her product page here. She has lots of experience with children, especially with sex education. She's done a lot of sex education for children and adults of all ages, and she has quite a long list of accomplishments outside of being now a published writer. She does have one previous title, but you'll have to visit the New Mexico State University Library to find it. It is her master thesis, coming out of the broom closet, the communicative act of self-disclosure as a witch, which is worth a trip to New Mexico to check out a title like that. She is hoping to re-release that soon, so keep an eye out for that and follow us on our social media to keep up to date on it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And we want to say hello to Mary in the chat room. It's good to see you, Mary.
Hi, Mary. Good to see you. And so, yeah, that's our announcements for today. Next week, we will have your book coming out, Rev Don. I'm really excited about that. Can you kind of tell us a little bit about how that process has been, getting it together, and where we're at today?
Well, we're in the final editing. Mm-hmm. The process of getting it together, just how can I put it? As you would expect, it's a big topic. And so it just got longer and longer. But yeah, I mean, just the last final details are going in right now. And in fact, I think all that's left is setting the artwork, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
we have left now. I just added in the resources and double checked all the links and everything that are available for those. But we have a list of podcasts and websites and books at the end of it for people to continue their astrology journey. And I'm going through the artwork that you've sent over, and it's really beautiful. The colors are really pop. I'll show everybody a sample of it. Some of my favorites from the book. Um, yeah, here we go. So here you can see the zodiac signs. I love the beautiful colors. It goes very well with the rainbow theme that we have throughout this book, as well as several of your other books now. So can you tell us a little bit about why you or how you came up with that rainbow theme and why you decided on doing that kind of multicolored page headings?
Certainly, and we want to say hello to Wesley in the chat room.
Wesley.
Hello, Wesley. Well, the first reason that that I color coded the chapters was mainly to make it more visually interesting. But I used the colors of the chakras, the colors of the planets, the colors that we would normally use for those things, and I use them in the order we would normally use them, and that has been a constant symbolism for me going back many, many years. So you'll see it in a lot of things, and so that's why I decided to do that. But I also thought it would help people to tell the chapters apart, because it was originally done for the degree books, which, if you're looking for something, it can be a little hard to tell what chapter you're in without going back to the contents. But because the title headings and all of the subheadings are in the particular color, once you realize the color of the chapter you're looking for, they become much easier to find. And so that was part of my reason for choosing to do that. I think I've had people say that it has helped them, and it has been beneficial to them. So that this is why, as I say, why I chose to use that particular format.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm all about visual interest.
And I just love the color scheme and how you do follow the way the rainbow is formed throughout the book, so that if you're looking at a book and you're on the orange chapter, well, the red chapter is right after that, so
yes,
it makes it very easy to go back and forth. Also, as a queer person, I love anything with rainbows, so the more rainbows, the better.
Yes.
But I just love the clean lines and the style of this art. It's very bold. It pops. It has like some of that 70s, early 80s vibe to it. And I just really love those vibrant colors like that. I'll show some more of the artwork. Believe these are for the north and south node. Let me share that screen. Yeah, here we have the north node artwork. Oh, if I can get it to share. Yeah. So yeah, I just love that. First off, the nodes and I think all of the artwork in this particular category with the planets and the nodes were of a similar color style, and I just love that lilac color against the silver. It really pops like that.
That's true. Yeah. I wasn't originally sure because what color I should use for that, but I thought that was a good choice.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, I'll also show the south node. It's quite similar. It's just the opposite side of that. Let's see here. Where is the artwork that I have? Having trouble finding the right window. Let's see if I can close out some of them. Maybe that will help. There we go. Doesn't seem to show the artwork tab. Oh, well, I do have one more to show as well, besides the South Node. It's your own personal birth chart, Reverend
That's
Don.
true.
Yeah. So, can you kind of, based off of the information that you've provided in the book, can you interpret your chart and tell us maybe some of the different things that you see here?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, we have a whole section on my personal chart as an example of how to apply the knowledge in the book. And as you look at this, you'll see that the planets are arranged in particular places in the chart, and they're in particular signs. You can see the signs also. So you can see, for example, the sun is in Gemini. They're arranged in the houses. You can see it's in the 7th house. You can see that the moon is in Aquarius in the 2nd house. And you can see the different aspects between them. You can see that Venus and Mercury are conjunct in Taurus in the 6th house. Venus and Mercury being conjunct that way represents, for want of a better way to put it, a union of heart and mind. And it also creates a mentality that being in Taurus, it's very, very thorough, not always incredibly fast, but very thorough. And will tend to hold on to the things that it learns. I'm a Gemini, which, Gemini is a very communication-oriented sign, which obviously plays out in my life. But most people who know me do not think that my personality is a typical Gemini. I show myself almost more like a Taurus, and that's because of that union of Mercury and Venus in Taurus. In some ways, I think and react a little bit more like a Taurus while expressing myself more like a Gemini. The moon in Aquarius gives me an interest in innovation and moving forward with things. You can see the outer planets, Neptune and Pluto and so forth, which are more generational in their aspects. And the book talks about all these different things, and you can see the different aspects outlined in red or blue, depending on what they are. And the blue are the more beneficial aspects, and the red are the more challenging aspects. And challenging aspects, and for the purposes of the book, we're talking about squares and oppositions. These are kind of like the lessons we need to learn in life. They're the things that we need to struggle with and learn to deal with. Whereas the positive aspects, for the purposes of the book, we're talking about trines. There are also lesser positive aspects that you can basically interpret in similar ways. But the trines are the natural benefits that come to us from just how we are. So these are some of the things that you will find in a chart. I don't want to go through the whole thing. That would take forever, and I already did that in the book. But if you want to see how to interpret a chart and see how the obvious things that have been in my life are right there in the chart, we talk about that in the book. Many of the things that, like the work in media, for example, they're right there. And if you work with the the way that we've described aspects and so forth in the book, that it's all very obvious. Now, it's only a brief going over the chart in the book. Obviously, you could take it much farther, but then it would be a much larger book. but it still shows how to do it, what you get from it, and yeah, and this particular illustration is of the chart itself in a nice decorative frame.
Yeah, it's part of the cover of the book as well.
Well, it's comparable. Yeah, well, yeah, the chart is. Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, just like Reverend Don said, if you're looking to learn how to interpret a full chart, or if you're curious to see Reverend Don's full chart, then you can purchase the book, and we're hoping that we will have that available by mid to late next week. That is when we're planning on launching. So if all goes smoothly over the next few days, which it will, then we will be sending out those copies by late next week. So go ahead and grab yours today. You can pre-order on the website at CorrellianPublishing.com. I'll also add that to the chat here as well.
We must point out that from the time of the order, when we put the order in, it will take a little while for the books to be printed.
Yeah.
And that's often the case when you order from us, because it's not always in stock. Sometimes it has to be printed. And that can take a variable amount of time depending on factors beyond our control. But we get them to you as fast as we can.
Yes, we do print to order. So when someone orders from us, we put through the order, and it goes out as quickly as it can. So thank you so much for your patience on that, for supporting a small pagan publishing house, and for ensuring that our elders' wisdom is continued and preserved for future generations. Yeah.
And many of our books are also, well, all of our books, I believe, are also available on Amazon, where you would not have that same weight because of just the way it works. Yeah. But I would not be able to sign them. And Antonio says, I have already pre-ordered and definitely looking forward to diving in. Wonderful.
Thank you so much for your support, Antonio. We really appreciate it. And please let us know what your thoughts are on the book. We're very curious to hear feedback from readers, and if there are updates or changes that we need to make for the second edition, then we'll keep that in mind as we move forward. So that's basically what's going on here at Correllian Publishing. Please follow us on social media. We're really trying to grow our Facebook and our Instagram audience. Also, we do post TikTok videos too, so check us out there. But Facebook and Instagram would be super helpful. And if you could share us with other pagans, if there are elders that that would like to have their wisdom preserved, put them in touch with us, and we'll be happy to walk them through that process and help them publish their wisdom to our community.
Well, thank you, Krys. And I want to thank everyone for joining us. If you like the program, please feel free to hit like on whatever platform you're watching on, and please feel free to share it through your own pages. And again, I want to thank you. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be talking about the equinox sabbats tomorrow, even though the equinox was actually yesterday, but we have to work around our schedules. And tomorrow we'll be talking about the meaning behind this and the importance of it. And then on Friday, we were going to be having a Best of Reverend Don, which is an interview with Belladonna Laveau, the Archpriestess of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church. And I think you'll find that very interesting. On Friday, I will be at an Ostara event here in Danville at Earth Spirit Emporium. And then on Sunday, Pure Sanctuary Temple and Traveler's Grove are doing their Pure Sanctuary, or their Ostara ceremony. And then that evening, I will be doing online Ostara ceremony on Pagan World, or well, actually on Correllian TV. But you will see it on many pages, including Pagan World. So thank you, everyone. I will see you tomorrow, and let us close with our prayer, as we always do. Divine Mother Goddess, Divine Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you for all that you do for us in our lives, and we ask you to continue to be with us and to guide us as we go forward. And help us to keep our eye focused on the meaning of life, focused on the goals we set for our lives, focused on the things that are important, and not to be distracted by things that are not. Help us to stay focused, to stay strong, and to stay clear in our minds. Beloved Mother Goddess, beloved Father God, beloved ancestors, we thank you with great love and respect, and knowing you are always with us, but from respect, we thank you for your presence, and may you be blessed now and always. May you be blessed now and always. And again, we'll see you tomorrow.
Blessed be you.